Hi, welcome to my channel. My name is Natasha Zelegs and I'm a light worker, energy worker, psychic, counselor, healer. And I've been doing it for 30 years and this is my story. The reason I'm putting these videos up is because there's so many people, I think, who have these abilities or have this awareness, but they are not sure of themselves, as I wasn't for many, many decades. Things began to become very evident about who I was when I was about 20, 21, and it just began to escalate. And I will tell you that story in just a moment if you care to listen. So if you are a light worker, an energy worker, clairsentient, clairaudient, this video might be for you. So it all started in 1981, or that was the most significant event that I can bring to mind. There were things that happened when I was a lot younger, but they're not that interesting. So my parents and I were on a trip in Northern California, and we were staying in some cabins. It was just a family vacation. I was just about to turn 21, and my mom and I were sharing a room, a cabin. My brother and dad were in another one, and everything was pretty normal. It was beautiful there. We went to the beach. You had to walk across these fields. They were thick bushes. You had to climb down to these amazing rocky beaches where there were actual agates right on the beach. It was beautiful. And we went to sleep that night in this room, and I had a dream. I had a dream that a woman, possibly Native American, but I really can't categorize because I'm not sure exactly. But she had a beautiful purple blouse on that was velvet and a huge amethyst amulet. She was telling the secrets of the universe to some students. I was one of the students sitting on the floor, and she was writing them down, and I thought, my goodness, I need to remember this. This is, secrets of the universe. I mean, this is an amazing dream. When I woke up out of that dream, though, that's when the experience started. My bed began to vibrate, and I began to feel like I was dissolving, that the physical body was dissolving, and all that I was basically was consciousness, awareness. And I was communicating with this greater awareness that was enveloping the entire room, it felt like, in this amazing light. And all I could think of saying then, because I was terrified, was, I'm not ready, I'm not ready. But how did I know how to say that, right? That was an interesting thing. So after that, that experience sort of melted away, and I gradually came back and felt myself in my body, and I managed to get out of bed, and I was completely covered in cold sweat. And I went to the bathroom and came back to bed and tried to go to sleep, and I guess I did fall asleep for a little while. And the next morning, my mother, who was in the bed next to mine, said that there was this really intense, strange light in the window that was lighting up the panes around the glass. So imagine like an old-fashioned window with wood, and the wood panes were all lit up. So I tried to hold on to this experience, but it just didn't come back. That was like a once in a lifetime thing. But the next 10 years, there was no internet there. Remember, this is 1981. There was no internet. There's nothing. All there was spiritual bookstores, or bookstores that had books that talked about things that most people weren't talking about. It was a new age bookstore. And I basically read and bought almost every single book I could get my hands on, trying to understand about reincarnation, trying to understand about aliens, trying to understand about expanded consciousness. And after 10 years, or maybe less, when I was 25, I found A Course in Miracles. And that gave me great comfort because I was already leaning toward mysticism, spirituality, and that book was a catalyst and directed me completely to the light, which is the only way that I work. I am not I don't have a technique. I am completely working with the field of energy, which is source, and you are source, and that is the only thing going on. So I am definitely a student of that, and believe in non-duality, meaning there is only the one source. And we are all part of that, and that is all the field. And things began to evolve from that understanding that we are all part of this one. They evolved such that 10 years after that, I got something I'm going to call the download, where I just received a lot of information and my hands were activated. And so I had tremendous feeling in my hands, energy in my hands, and I could feel and move energy, and that continues on today. So I can be in the field. If you know anything about Dr. Eric Pearl and the reconnection, what I do is very similar to what he is teaching, except I have been low profile and undercover for a long time. And how do people find me? How do I have thousands of clients? Word of mouth. Word of mouth, because although I have a website, natashaspiritualhealing.com, I have never advertised or anything like that. So things continue on. The spiritual journey is a never-ending journey, because for me it is an integration of my personality and the larger self, the self that is what people call the higher self, or that is completely aware of itself as being multidimensional, birthless, deathless, limitless. And so that is what I teach, and that is how I do the work. And if you've listened to this long, I applaud you and thank you, and hopefully I hope to see you in the next video. If you like what I'm doing, I just started doing this, please click the subscribe button and like the video. Thank you so much.